OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, just released two phenomenal open source AI models for us to use completely free of cost. GPT OSS 120B and GPT OSS 20B are the newest models to come from the artificial intelligence giant. And the cool thing is they have been optimized to run directly on our laptops and desktops. Yeah, you heard that right. They are open source, completely free, and they run on our computers itself. No subscription, no API, none of that. So you can just download, install and enjoy unlimited ChatGPT now? Yeah, absolutely. But as always, there is a catch. In this video, we'll be having a look at these two new mind-blowing AI models that are delivering some seriously impressive local performance, few weird restrictions, and why this has caused so much noise in the open source community. Let's jump right in. OpenAI and ChatGPT are big names in the world of AI, possibly the biggest names. But OpenAI has not really stood up to its name, as all their models, GPT 3.5, 4.0, O3, DALL-E, Sora, they've all been closed source. But that changed suddenly as OpenAI dropped two frontier models as per their sizes with Apache 2 free license. Let me introduce you to these two models. GPT OSS 120B is the flagship between the two, massive model with 117 billion parameters. But thanks to its mixture of experts architecture, only 5.1 billion parameters are active per token. GPT OSS 20B is the smaller sibling with 21 billion parameters, and it's optimized for local usage with only 3.6 billion parameters activated per token. It delivers shockingly good performance on consumer hardware. I'm running it on my computer and I'm really impressed. Alright, let's take a closer look at these models. I'm really intrigued by the 20B model here, as it can run on most, even moderately powerful computers available in the market today. Most computers with 16GB RAM and a powerful GPU like NVIDIA 3090 or 4090 will be able to run this smoothly. I'm running it on an old 1050 Ti. So yeah, this is really cool. While I'm not getting very good speed here, it is running. The 120B model needs around 80GB combined system RAM to run. While that's not a consumer grade model, people with multi-GPU setups are already running it on their systems. Both of these models come with 128K token context window, so they match ChatGPT's 4.0 model in that. You can feed this model entire stacks of documents and work with them. And here's something really cool. Both these models are designed as reasoning models. That means they are trained not just to autocomplete your sentence, but to think through problems, follow logical steps, and even use tools to arrive at the answer. And you can actually control how much reasoning effort the model puts in by choosing from 3 different modes while running it. You can go for faster, more relaxed response, or crank it up to high reasoning mode when you want deep chain of thought style output. And it clearly shows what it is thinking. OpenAI has clearly tuned these models to excel in structured problem solving and decision making, not just chatting casually, although they are good at that too. With these two being open models, OpenAI has taken safety very seriously, and these models are going to deny any dangerous, harmful conversations that you can initiate. For example, it won't tell you how to make a bomb. People have been complaining that these models are a bit too restrictive, but in my use case, I didn't find any denials of request. Now here's the magic behind how these models are so good on consumer grade hardware. They use the mixture of experts architecture under the hood, and this is super cool. Let's take the 20B model for example. This comes with 20 billion parameters, or say 20 billion neurons like our brain. But instead of firing every one of these 20 billion neurons when you talk with this model consults only a very small subset expert neurons on that matter. Yeah, the 20B model here actually has a total of 21 billion parameters or neurons. But when you converse with it, for every token, it just activates and uses 3.6 billion parameters or neurons. This architecture allows these MOE models to be very huge and powerful while also being usable on regular hardware. My computer spec should be absolutely unusable for a normal dense 20B model. The max I could do is a 7 billion parameter model without quantization. This mixture of experts architecture will drastically reduce the hardware requirements, and basically you are running a significantly larger model that's also more powerful. This mixture of experts has been an absolute game changer in the whole AI LLM scene. Likewise, the 120 billion model activates just 5.1 billion parameters. By the way, if you haven't already, check out my course Linux Mastery Express. I've designed this course to level up your Linux skills very quickly. With this course, you'll get so comfortable using the terminal commands that your friends will think you're a Linux wizard. You'll get perfect with the most used, most useful commands and also learn advanced things like using the V editor and shell scripting as well. Linux Mastery Express, link in the description, do check it out. OpenAI has used another really cool optimization technique that makes these models so good on our local computers. It's crazy if you think about it. Today, our computers, and I don't mean huge servers, our own laptops and desktops can think better than the smartest human in many ways. For these models, they have used a technique called MXFP4 quantization to make these models smaller in size and significantly faster to run. MXFP4 is basically a special way of representing the numbers inside the model using fewer bits. Normally, models use 16-bit or 32-bit precision to do their calculations, but here, OpenAI trained these models using a 4-bit format. And not after training, but during training itself. That's a huge deal. Because the model was trained to be efficient from the ground up, it's way smaller in memory and faster during inference. This is what allows the 20 billion parameter model to comfortably run on a single consumer GPU with 16 GB of VRAM. And it's one of the reasons why you can get near ChatGPT level output at home without a server rack going brrr under your desk. Before we jump into the benchmarks, let's talk about my personal benchmarks, how I felt using this, vibe or not. The 20B model really impressed me. Now comparing this to ChatGPT 4o that everybody uses is not at all fair. 4o is estimated to be 20 to 100 times larger than GPT OSS 20B. Now this was unusably slow on my PC, but I could test it out. It really amazed me that a model of this intelligence and knowledge base could be run locally. I've tried other local models, but anything above 14B won't run on my computer, so this was really good. For people who can run this comfortably, this model can easily run as a workhorse. It has good context window, good knowledge base, and good reasoning capabilities, although it struggles with anything real world and complex. But for summarization, basic text-based workflows, I feel that this can be used. Now here's the thing, this is not going to be as good as even the free models from ChatGPT, Gemini or Claude. But if you want privacy and you don't want to send your information over to some AI companies that are going to log them and keep them, and maybe that data can be subpoenaed. If you don't want all that thing, you can just use this model. But yeah, you will be compromising on the quality. I tried out the 120V model using an API and it was very good too. But because I couldn't run it locally, and since I'm sending my data over to a server when using that model anyway, I think I could just stick with more powerful models. Still, I enjoyed using the 20B model. Okay, let's talk benchmarks. Benchmarks for these models are actually kind of wild. The GPT OSS 120V model reportedly hits 90% on MMLU, which is basically like acing a university level exam across 57 subjects. Even the 20B model at just a tenth of a size scores 85.3% there. That's better than some commercial models out there. And then there's the AIME math benchmark where both models score over 96%. But keep in mind, these are with tool use enabled, so they are calling in Python interpreter under the hood, basically a smart person with a calculator and not just raw intelligence. And on coding tasks, that's where things get a bit more mixed. The SWE bench users are lower, and many users have reported that models like Qwen and DeepSeek still perform better in pure code generation. So yeah, amazing general reasoning, great with math and tools, but not quite the coding king. And here's the thing, I'm actually fed up with everybody measuring a model's strength by seeing how good it performs at coding. Not everybody is a programmer, not everybody writes code every day. I think emotional intelligence, empathy, these things are so much better than coding prowess as a measure. I think models need to be optimized for these as well. Both of these GPT OSS models are what's called an open weight model. Calling them open source is not technically correct because the code and the training data of these models is not actually open source. When we say open weight, we mean that OpenAI has released the trained model weights, basically the brain of the AI for anyone to download and use. But they haven't released the training data or the exact recipe they use to train it. That part stays behind the curtain. So yes, you can use it, fine-tune it, modify it, extend it, even build commercial apps around it thanks to the permissive Apache 2.0 license. Use it for whatever you want, however you want, but you can't fully replicate how it was made from scratch. It's like getting a fully baked cake, but not the recipe. You can taste it, serve it, and even frost it however you want, but you don't know exactly how it was made in the first place. That's the key difference between open weight and truly open source models. And in this case, OpenAI is giving us a lot, but not everything. One of the coolest things about open weight models is that they can be fine-tuned. And what exactly is this fine-tuning? Fine-tuning is basically like giving the model a short crash course in your specific needs, writing, coding, poetry, whatever it is. Instead of retraining the whole thing from scratch, you teach it new tricks by showing it a small, focused dataset, and it adapts. It's how you take a general purpose brain and make it an expert in your task. On Hugging Face, you'll find hundreds if not thousands of fine-tuned models that are incredibly more capable than the original models that they are built upon. And OpenAI said that you'll be able to fine-tune the 20B model on your computers. Okay, if you want the easiest way to get GPT OSS running locally with a nice interface, go with LM Studio. Just download the app image from their website, make it executable and run it. Sometimes it doesn't run on older versions of Ubuntu, so you can use the additional instructions given in the description below. From LM Studio, search for OpenAI GPT OSS 20B in the model browser, pick this one and hit download. It's going to download around 12 GB of data. Yeah, that's it. All of the world's knowledge in just 12 GB. Now remember that you need to have decent specs to run this. And if you need further instructions on how to set this up, I'll link the guide videos in the description. Load the model using the top bar, start a new chat, and you're off. You can even switch reasoning modes by clicking on the reasoning button here. There are other ways to install this on your computer. For example, you can use Ollama, but I think LM Studio is the simplest way to get started. You know, I tried a lot of local models over the last couple of years, and here's the thing. Eventually, with most of them, you hit a point where you can feel they are not quite at the level of the frontier models like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. You notice the gaps. But with GPT OSS 20B, especially when I cranked it up to high reasoning, that feeling just never came. The quality of answers kept me engaged and impressed. Now, don't get me wrong, on my hardware the speed wasn't great, but that's on my trusty old 1050 Ti, not the model. When you give this thing the GPU power it deserves, it can really stretch its legs. But it's important to remember that it's not a 400 billion parameter monster. It has limits, and that's okay. The privacy side of things is huge for me, and I know it is for you too. That's why you're on Linux, that's why you use free and open source software. Having a model this capable that I can run locally means I can talk to it about anything, my life, my relationships, even mental health stuff, without worrying about where that data is going. No server logs, no third-party snooping. And yeah, while I still think it's important to understand that OpenWeight isn't fully open source, this is still a massive win for the open source LLM movement. It's a step forward and we should take it. The moment I first ran it, I honestly didn't expect much. I've been underwhelmed enough times before. But the quality caught me off guard and in a good way. I believe the future of AI isn't limited to massive closed-off models. Smaller, local, highly optimized ones like GPT OSS 20B will keep getting smarter, faster, and more accessible. Yes, they have quirks, occasional hallucinations, and they're not suited for critical decisions. Don't take health advice from them. I wouldn't even use the recipe they provide. But for what they are and what they mean for our community in the long run, they are a huge win. Alright, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, if you found this video useful, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and also leave me a big thumbs up. And if you're interested in learning up your Linux skills, the link to my course, Linux Mastery Express, is given in the description below. It's designed to teach you Linux and take you from zero to hero within the shortest amount of time possible. You'll be using Linux like a pro within a matter of hours, so definitely check that out. Next up, check out the top 5 hottest lightweight Linux resource for hyper performance in 2025. It's got some really cool ones, so definitely don't miss that. Alright, this is the Next X, signing out.